Yo, what is up, guys? Joker bringing you another video for the 3.23 Affliction League. So, over the last week, I've been playing a shit ton of PAL World and enjoying it. It's an amazing game. I'm going to be putting out a review here once I beat the game in about a day or two, but this video is not about that. I was scrolling through YouTube and I noticed this, right? Uh, and my first thought was, oh my God, what happened with TFT now, right? Because in case you don't know, TFT is almost always in drama. However, it is the largest trading resource that we do have. It has over 500K people in the Discord. Well, I guess it should say it had over 500K people in the Discord, right? And it's already under 400K. I don't know if that's from people being banned or if people just leaving or what, but essentially what happened is Cletty's friend here dropped a that which was taken, and he listed it for mirror. Janimbu, I believe the owner or one of the head devs or head mods for the TFT Discord, messaged him, said, "Hey, let me buy the jewel," or I guess it was more of he spammed him. Let me buy the jewel. And then he started threatening him that if he did not sell him the jewel, he was going to ban him from the Discord. Once again, there's literally screenshots of this conversation. And that essentially sums up most of it, right? Someone dropped an item and listed it for sale. Janimbu wanted to buy it. The guy said, "No, I consider you an RM tier," which totally fair opinion to have, right? I'm not selling an item to an RM tier. And Janimbu got his fucking panties in a wad. It went on like a power trip. He banned Alucard, and then Alucard made a Reddit post, and it hit the front page of Reddit with like over 300K views, right? I think in like a couple of days. And pretty much everyone was agreeing, like, no, that's fucking stupid. And Janimbu did not like this. He started fucking rage banning anyone that had a negative thing to say. Normally, this wouldn't be that much of a known issue, but he was hitting people that are big, right? He, like, one of the first people that he banned was Local Identity. In case you don't know, Local Identity is the guy that makes and manages the Path of Building community fork, right? So on already on one side of this, you have a person who has allegations of RMT, and anything you can find on them is essentially saying that they're a piece of shit. Like, I have not found one redeeming like comment or mention about Janimbu. And the other flip side of the coin, you have Local Identity, who seems to be pretty much a super chill guy that brings us one of the most important tools. So already you know the community is going to be leaning one side over the other, right? So he bans Local Identity for calling him out. And then Local Identity makes a tweet essentially saying, "Wow, I can't believe this fucking little girl banned me for just pretty much calling it how it is." And then other large content creators saw this, and obviously we're agreeing that no, it's fucking stupid. We agree with Local Identity. Like, what the fuck, TFT? And then he just continued going on his tantrum, banning so many content creators from the TFT Discord that at this point it's become a bigger issue, right? At this point, just like Palstron says right here, the trade problem, right? GGG has addressed that they want trade to be difficult, but at this point, they need to address and correct the trade issue. And that's essentially the entire point of this video, is to try to get even more traction, even more eyeballs on the situation. That way, GGG will actually be motivated to do something about it, right? A lot of situations, a lot of current controversies, GGG kind of keeps out of it until there's too much of an uproar. And that's what I'm kind of hoping happens with this, where there's enough of an uproar where they finally are like, okay, no, this is a major issue we need to address now. Because don't get me wrong, I love Chris and all the other devs, but they are rather hands off with a lot of the things in the community. Um, and they really only address it, like I said, when shit hits the boiling point, right? Paustron has a really good video, 20 minutes, essentially going over the situation and giving some ideas. And then Cletty, pretty much being closer to the situation, has a much shorter 5 minute video going ahead and going over the situation as well, right? Um, I just wanted to go ahead and make this video to kind of do the same thing. I want to draw attention to the problem in the hopes that GGG does something and give a potential solution, right? The best thing that I can think of so that we can move away from TFT as our main trading resource and potentially go to something that's actually properly managed, right? That's the biggest problem with TFT is it's just poorly managed, and it is the largest resource that we actually have. You have to walk on eggshells because they will ban you for like fucking anything and everything majority of the time. Now, that being said, I have used TFT. I mean, right now I'm not even playing PoE. I am still in the Discord, but I'm assuming if they see this video, I am not going to be in the Discord anymore. I did have a content creator role for a little while, but that got removed. I guess I'm no longer a content creator, so that kind of sucks. Um, but yeah, so let's move away from the TLDR of the shit show of the drama and move towards more of potential solutions, right? Okay, so let's move over to my little list of solutions, right? Some things that could potentially be a solution or a replacement for the TFT Discord. Obviously, the third thing is going to be GGG just improving trade, right? That this would technically be the best thing to happen is if GGG just goes ahead and improves trade and and if they don't want to improve it, they need to make their own site or even Discord and have a team to manage it. That way it's professionally managed and it's not mismanaged, right? That would be like the best case scenario is GGG just fixes the fucking problem. Since I really don't see this happening, that's why it's so low on the list. Up next, well, I guess at number one, content creators managed a Discord or website, right? Essentially, what the idea for this is I was going to potentially reach out to a couple of content creators as well as Zach. In case you don't know, Zach is the guy who made the PoE Stack website. I reached out to him when I first found it, and I pretty much said, "Hey, I really like your tool. Like, I'm going to make a video on it. Can you give me like what the next things are going to be?" Right. And he seemed like a really cool dude. So my first thought process is sending him another message and be like, "Hey, if I get a group of content creators together, how hard would it be for you to code everything from the TFT Discord over onto just like the PoE Stack website, right? Because we already have the tools, we just need the TFT portion to be on the website, right? Instead of it linking it to TFT, when we go to the bulk tool and we hit list, this would just have to go to another window or another tab or something on that site, right? Now, that was my first thought process, my first thought, but then it started falling apart almost immediately because we run into the problem where I would either have to somehow get the attention of the larger and largest content creators and get them together and pretty much agree to work friendly on this and manage this together, which isn't really viable because there's so many different types of communities with content creators that I don't know how well that would really mesh. I think there may be some friction between some of the content creators as well. So I don't even know how well that would work because we would need those larger content creators, and we can't really do it just as the smaller content creators because the smaller content creators do not do PoE as a job like the bigger creators do, right? The bigger creators do it as a job, so they would have technically more time to manage it, but not really because since they do it as a job, they have to play the game majority of the time. So they wouldn't be able to be as hands on as they would really need to be. And with the smaller content creators, we all have to work a main job. So we wouldn't be able to manage it as effectively as it would need to be managed either. So that was my first initial idea, but it kind of fell through, right? And like I mentioned, I already went over the GGG thing. And then the last thing that I could think of is Maxroll picking it up, right? They have a dedicated team of employees that naturally already has some of the larger, I don't want to say family friendly, but larger, more family friendly content creators, right? People that are known for being more wholesome in the community. It has a lot of those people already on the team, and they already manage so many different sources that once again, how hard would it be for them to implement it? I do not know, but that was my main thought of potentially trying to reach out to them and being like, hey, um, I can get you guys in contact with Zach and see if you guys can put something together to try to replace TFT. But once again, that would be a lot of legwork. These people already have a shit ton of work that they have to do. They have to make these guides and they have to make videos as well, right? So this is literally already a full-time job for them. So I don't know how viable or manageable that would be either. Um, but those were my only three real ideas is either content creators band together for the betterment of the community and we manage our own Discord or website, um, or Maxroll goes ahead and does that, or GGG improves trade, right? Those are literally one of these three things potentially has to happen for TFT to die. And I don't really see how any of these things are possible right now. So it's really more of the hoping that we can draw enough attention that GGG fixes trade. Like that's really what I'm banking on is this causes enough of an uproar that GGG addresses the problem. I am still going to go ahead and try to reach out to other content creators and see if potentially we can get something thrown together. I mean, and I have no problem. I do have, I probably am one of the people that is more online than a lot of the other content creators. I don't want to say I have no life, but literally I work 6 hours a day and then I'm on my computer the other like 15 hours and then I sleep for like usually 3, 4 hours a day, right? So I would have no problem micromanaging it. And the first people that came to mind were people like Travik, right? Melky, who's a part of the macro arrow, Subtractum, right? Amisid, some of the people that I just naturally follow, and that they're rather wholesome, and Subtractum as well, right? He was a dev before he became a content creator, so he was like my first thought of reaching out of, hey, how hard would this concept actually be to make in practice? Like, do you think it would be manageable? Because once again, I don't want to say like wholesome, family friendly, but he's one of the people that's like, I don't want to say like father figure because I'm pretty sure he's not that much older than me, but he's like that father figure, right? That guy that has some experience in the field and he's just like super it's like that comfy. I don't want to say warm sweater. It sounds like I'm insulting him, and I'm totally not. I love his content, but that's like the vibe he gives off, right? It's like that warm sweater, like almost that hug of a content creator, right? So that's why he was like my first thought, because he was the dev and he has that naturally like fuzzy community, right? And that's the exact opposite of what TFT is right now. TFT is literally toxic and people hate engaging with it, but we just have to because it's the only tool we really have. Now, to make this video not an hour long, I'm going to be ending it here. Those are my thoughts. Like I said, I am going to try to reach out to these content creators and see if we can like put our heads together and come up with something, because as of right now, trade is in such a bad spot and GGG's not doing anything about it. I figured I'd take the initiative to try to fix it because I love PoE, but trading is fucking terrible. And I think it's one of the main deterrents from people actually coming into PoE, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. Um, Tell me how you feel about my ideas down in the comments. I mean, tell me if you think they're fucking stupid. I reply to like almost every comment, if not every comment. But yeah, if you agree, if you disagree, if you think it is a good idea, try to get as much traction as you can so some of these other content creators see it and potentially reach out to me. That way I don't have to do all of the legwork. But like I said, I am gonna try to see if we can get something together for you guys, because right now it's not a fun spot, and I know that my channel does attract a lot of newer players because that's what I make content for, right? And I don't want you guys coming into a toxic community. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and until next time, take care.